Welcome everyone to Friday's report out. Really good to see you all. Very pleased that we've got Estates and Facilities colleagues reporting out on their Rapid Process Improvement Week 60 days report out. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? So let's without further ado hand over to the team.
Good stuff. So thank you. Welcome to Estates and Facilities 60-day report out. Hello, my name's Sophie Williams. I'm an improvement specialist and I've been leading this work. I was asked to support the E&F team to improve the recruitment process because our new recruits and potential employees were experiencing really long delays. And during the pandemic, we had a new way of recruiting, which was adopted, called COVID Bank. And what happened over time was it resulted in quite a complex recruitment timeline with several process steps and defects that resulted in duplication. So after some data collection earlier this year and understanding the enormity of the challenge that is recruitment, I needed some help. So I recruited process owners, sponsors and team members from all different sides of facilities. So from the central resourcing team, our administrative team, organisational development, and we had the privilege of outside eyes from James, our porter at St James's, and Dolph, our quality partner. We discovered really quickly that if we could work on the facilities technician role first, which is a huge number of staff that we recruit each year, if we could start there and scale up, we'd be on to a winner. So the facilities technicians role are, if you're not aware, porters, cleaning response, ward housekeepers, catering staff, our logistics and ward environmental porters as well. So huge sort of lifeblood of the organisation that do some great work. And we thought if we could start there, we could scale up our improvements. So the sponsors set us some really ambitious targets, but we aimed to achieve a reduction in the lead time and to make the whole process more streamlined, but ultimately a better experience for candidates coming into LTHT and the staff that work on recruitment in estates and facilities. So the target the sponsors set was, it was 98 days it was taking on average from shortlisting through to the candidates, new recruits starting their training. So it was 98 days. They wanted to reduce that to 60 days with a review, with a view, to reduce that to 30 days longer term. We wanted staff to new recruits, to bring the correct ID in with them. So the defect measures that you can see there, number 2 and 3, were a bit of a problem. We realised people weren't bringing the correct documents with them for their ID checks. So we want to reduce that, and also get more people signing up for the DBS update service to avoid duplication further down the line. Measures 4 and 5, we really wanted to obviously see an improvement in how staff felt about delivering the service and working together as a team. There was quite siloed working happening across sites in terms of St James's and LGI, not always working together in recruitment. And we wanted to see, obviously, new recruits feeling good about how effective the process was and when they're starting in a timely manner. So there were our targets. The last one being a 5S measure, which was trying to organise the spreadsheets the team had. They had about 7 spreadsheets that we wanted to reduce to one source of knowledge that had some great visual controls and could help the team get what they needed when they needed it. So streamlining that was also a big measure for consistency and having a team agreement about how to work together. So this was our scores at 30 days. Our lead time did jump up in September, and Martin's going to talk to you about the scores on the doors shortly. But I'm now going to hand you over to Mandy, who will explain some of the work that's been ongoing.
My name is Mandy. I'm a team member supporting this work, and we all work together to bring up and display a process map to look at all the responsible areas and the stages of the process. So it's very clear who does what, where in the past we've had some crossover and not really understanding this work. We've also linked in all the standard work that links to each specific area, and hopefully that gives clarity to all our process owners. We use ongoing huddles to enable shared learning so we can continuously improve and agree refinement on the process. It's a journey that we're really travelling together. I'd like to pass you now on to Martin.
Hi, good afternoon. My name's Martin Lowe. I'm one of the senior facilities managers within the operational facilities team, and I'm one of the process owners. So as you can see on the screen, this is the 60-day metrics that we've just done. And in regards to lead time, we are getting back to where we wanted to be after a slight rise over the last couple of months. We're down to a 42-day lead time now. The increase was due to the peak summer holiday time, which resulted in delays of candidates being able to present the right information back to us, being able to obtain references, and the length of the pipeline, which we're now showing that benefit from. In regards to quality defects, with candidates not being able to present the right information, we have seen a dip in that where it has gone higher. In particular, the last assessment centre group, we did have a number of candidates who were younger and seemed to not have lots of information that matched with what the requirements are that are set out for NHS and for the DBS system. So it has resulted in a little bit of a delay. I think points to raise, looking at the employee satisfaction. So this is the candidates coming through. We've gone from a 20% baseline through to, on the last assessment centre, 100% satisfaction in their experience of what the process is, from first applying to then starting with boots on the shop floor. We also did a remeasure of the staff who were involved in this process, from the managers who employ them through to the admin team that process them and the recruitment team that do all the hard work in the background as well. And again, that's very pleasing in the fact that it's gone from a 0% satisfaction baseline to a 67% satisfaction, which is a considerable improvement. Next slide, please. So some little thought bubbles to just talk you through. Obviously, the majority of them are showing as green, which is positive now, and the only red that is on the screen is regarding the documentation, and it is something that we are working on to simplify the advice that we give people to bring in. It is quite a complex document listing, and it is made more complex with the differences in the requirements between the NHS system for identity proving and the DBS system for identity proving. This is a national thing. It would be much simpler if we had a matching requirement, but unfortunately it is a factor of the system as it stands at the moment. A pleasing aspect that most candidates said they really enjoyed the ward walk around. Whereas part of the assessment centre day, we take them to a clinical environment and we actually show them what the areas are like. It is an anecdotal comment that we use where we do explain that in the past we've had people that have started, gone through the whole recruitment process, gone through the onboarding process, started with us, and within a couple of days have gone, this isn't for me. It's not the kind of environment I was expecting. It's not the kind of, I'm a little bit unsure about whether I want to work within patients or within clinical areas or within this kind of field. So having that ward walk around and that opportunity to sample the environment really does pay dividends. Next slide, please. So from a staffing side of things, the people that are involved in the process, again, positive. The engagement factor is coming across loud and clear from all the staff that are in the post-COVID. It is absolutely fantastic to be back, being able to do face-to-face, being able to meet the people that we're going to then be working with, and for the candidates to actually see us. One of the negatives in the original baseline was the fact that the candidates thought it was a very impersonal process to go on. Now we're seeing that complete swing in the opposite way. It's helping to create engagement from the get-go. Obviously, there's room for improvement. One of the negatives was the length of time it's still taking, although better. There are a bit of a luck of the draw. Some people are getting their candidates because they're engaging faster, sooner, and other teams are getting their candidates slightly later. Okay, and I will then hand you over to Tracy.
Good afternoon, I'm Tracy Weldon, one of the Assistant Facilities Managers at St James's. What went well? Reference checks are beginning to improve. Continued communication and collaboration among teams, which is we're communicating more and collaborating with the LGI and St James's. Recruitment admin joining the recruitment day. We had Sandra join the last recruitment day we did, which was complete value having Sandra there. She matched the candidates to the position that we were offering them. She began the onboarding with the candidates, and she could help them accept their offer of employment, which is something that we would like to continue. We've had great feedback from new recruits. They've enjoyed the actual recruitment day, especially the ward walk, as Martin said earlier. And streamlining the recruitment days. We've pre-planned recruitment days until July 2023, which means we can be more organised with staffing. Even better if NHS 3 limitations for cohort recruitment. When we pull the application through, we don't actually have the contact numbers and address for candidates like we used to have on the old NHS jobs. NHS Jobs 3 and Line Manager Portal. We put the advert on Line Manager Portal, but then you have to put it in again onto NHS Jobs 3 because it doesn't carry through. It would be great if we could have a dedicated training and assessment day venue. And if we could have induction training slots and a trial of occupational health fast track would be great if we could have them more involved. And I'll pass you to Hugh.
Hi, my name is Hugh Cummings and I'm the Head of Business for Estates and Facilities, and I'm one of the sponsors for the project that we've been working on here, supported by Sophie. So what are the next steps going forward? So we continue to do the PDSA, the continued learning and improvement with the system. So we are having to analyse a lot of data. We're seeing a lot of the data coming through now. And whilst we've made improvements that have been noticed, we know there's still further work to do, and this work will probably not stop, if we're honest, because as we look to improve certain parts of the recruitment process, we know that it's going to highlight other areas where we can still continue to refine. So we will continue that going forward. A paperless system. So we have got an excellent itinerary and agenda for the day now that the operational teams have worked collaboratively with the central resourcing teams and the admin teams, the 3 core teams that are involved in this. However, we haven't got paperless yet, so we're still passing a bit of paperwork backwards and forwards as part of the recruitment process. We can see clear advantages by getting all this centralised online so that we don't see the continued delays where paper packs get passed from A to B, different teams. So we're going to make attempts to try and go paperless in the very near future, which should have clear advantages for everybody. And I think the rollout of the new laptops as part of the digital rollout will help with that process as well, making the workforce more flexible. One thing we have recently agreed is a 2-week engagement process. So again, it's a group decision, team agreement, whereby we have agreed that as part of the onboarding process that we will allow, what delays the process sometimes is that potential candidates don't go through the onboarding, don't tick the necessary boxes and be quite slow, which means the pipeline, as we say, becomes massive, the work becomes unmanageable, as in the past. We're keen now to give everybody a 2-week engagement period. So this is the part whereby the onus is on the individual to engage. If they want to come and work for the trust, we will help them. We will notify them daily. We send out a 7-day reminder. But after 2 weeks, if they haven't taken all them notice steps on board, we will then look to cease our engagement with the individual and advise them that the recruitment of them will then cease at that point. That will allow us then to focus our time and effort on the ones that want to still continue to work for us. and this is where we can be more focused. As part of this, we're looking to simplify the basis reports. So part of the process, we get reports from our central resourcing colleagues, and we're looking to how we can simplify them to better understand them, to allow further discussions and more detailed interrogation as part of our fortnightly huddles to understand who's starting when and if there's any delays in the process. Going forwards, whilst this is still relatively new, some of the new process, which we've had some clear wins on already, we want to now start empowering the teams lower down. We've met Martin, and Claire's not here today, who are some of our senior management teams within estates and facilities. We want to now start empowering the teams to start taking that process on themselves and training them, following the standard work that we've introduced, so that they can then start to run the assessment centres, the recruitment days, so that it's not something where we see ourselves being, you know, some of the senior managers involved in the recruitment days. We want our band 3s, 4s, 5s to be involved and be instrumental as part of that process. And then what we've learned already, we've learned a lot of important information. We've learned how NHS Jobs 3 works, which has been a new occurrence in the last couple of months. We now want to start using some of the good examples and some of the good work we've learned and roll that across to our ad hoc recruitment within estates and facilities. So I think finally for me, I just want to thank everybody who's been involved, as the sponsors, one of the two sponsors, myself and Chris Ayres from Estates and Facilities. You know, we are on a journey here. It has been hard work at times. We are moving in the right direction. We've still got a hell of a lot of work to do, but we are starting to see some of the benefits of the hard work that's been put into this. We know that we're hoping to get the key work done within the next 2 months, and to wrap up and make sure we've got all the standard work within the next 2 months. But then after that, it will be continuing to monitor continue the PDSA stuff to keep looking to see how we can improve the process. So thank you for your time today.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Hugh. Really, really great. That I thank you, team, for that. I was really struck by, well, lots of that, but I mean, getting that lead time down, 42 days from that baseline, tremendous work, and the other metrics as well. So I know that colleagues will be really interested in how you've done this. Certainly, I can see Jenny's hand shot straight up. So, Jenny, over to you.
Well, first of all, after a week of industrial action, how fab is it to be back in report out and to be able to see Anthony on the screen and to be able to talk about the work that you've done? So, first of all, it's given me a bit of a lift, which has been great. So I guess I just wanted to bring the why to life, actually, because I popped in to see the LGI porters a couple of weeks ago, and you know, they're not slow at coming forward, are they? And the first thing they said to me was, Jenny, we got loads of vacancies and we got loads of agency, and you know, why does it take so long? So you know, it's really felt on the ground, and it wasn't a criticism of anybody, and they didn't mean it as a criticism of anybody, but I was also struck by, you know, they said, we're a family and we need people recruited because agency workers don't always come in and feel as if and integrate and feel as if they are a long-term part of the family. So I just wanted to reiterate the why, to be honest. I know I'm picking porters out and your work's much broader, but it was really impactful to just unprompted for that to be the thing they wanted to talk to me about. The other bit I was mortified by, really. I think you managed to get your lead time down, and then NHS Jobs 3 came in and bumped it all the way back up again, didn't it? Yeah. So I guess as well, there was a bit of learning in there for me about, you know, well-laid plans and then something hugely external that you've got no influence over, that you've got to implement, how quickly it can just undo everything that you've undone. So I can imagine just how frustrating that was, really, and well done for persevering.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jenny. Tony.
Thanks, Julian. Fabulous piece of improvement work, I think. A few comments. First of all, the thing that struck me first was when Sophie was speaking at the beginning, and she really drove home the complexity of the range of roles that are so fundamental to the organisation, but which were encompassed by this work and by the work that you all do on a daily basis. Without these people, we wouldn't be able to function at all, you know. And so it's vitally important that we treat them well, and that we make their job possible. And that sort of took me on to my second point. Listening to Martin, I couldn't help feeling that what we were talking about was how the organisation sets itself up to create fundamental advantage. And I thought that particularly when Martin was talking about the need to identify not only the skills that people have, but the type of people. He was talking about making sure that early in the process, people discerned whether it was for them or not. You know, and I thought that was a really good key piece of learning. And then finally, also Martin was talking about the survey that had been done, the resurvey, which had shown the 67% improvement in staff satisfaction. And I just wondered whether that survey had also highlighted the ways in which that 33% who aren't yet satisfied could be satisfied.
Thanks, Tony. Any response to that?
Yeah, no, I don't mind answering that one. Yeah, Tony, thanks for your comments. No, much appreciated. It is a lot of hard work doing the constant churn of recruitment within estates and facilities. We are such a vast group, so it is a constant process. In regards to the staff satisfaction, the main aspect was with regards to still the element of we've almost set ourselves up with this dream of getting to this process timeline of being so quick that within a month you've got advert new starters, and people are just so keen to get the new starters in, and it's that element of, but I want them now, and my people are here now, and it's that not dissatisfaction, but more we have such a high expectation because there is such a demand, and we have so many people that when one particular team sees somebody else get a new starter, it's, but I want mine, where are mine? I can see them in the pipeline, but I want them now. And I think as we work on fine-tuning bits and that process gets quicker, then in a very short period of time, that will improve no end.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great.
Nothing wrong with high expectancies.
No, indeed. Absolutely. Any other questions for the team?
It's not really a question, it's just to follow on from what Martin said. I think part of our aim when we talk about the long-term future, we said the 30-day kind of lead time. I think in our heads what we're trying to establish is that we do a recruitment day once a month. We recruit about 30 new team members, and then by the time we come to do the next one the following month, we've gone through all the onboarding, they've started, and we've lost that group of new employees that have started with us, and we can forget about them. They're in with us, they're on to the next stage of the process, the induction, the training, and then we're on to the next one, so that it's that clear is the process and that joined up that it just rolls along, and that we know we've got that guaranteed, because we know we need that kind of 25 to 30 new members of staff each month to maintain our churn.
Yes, indeed, absolutely right. That makes a lot of sense. Any other, just checking, any other questions, comments? Jimmy, then Dawn.
Thanks, Julian. Just to acknowledge another great piece of work. That's a 5-minute summary doesn't do it justice as ever, and the background work to connect people that have been fairly independent in their approach to that and really work through how to unpick it and stitch it back together. So it is a collaborative piece. Really good to hear, and I do know, because I've had the benefit of some conversations behind the scenes about how much foundation has needed to be laid. I think if you watch those grand designs, it's always getting out of the ground that's hard, isn't it? And you have to sometimes do a lot of foundation building. I think this is one where you're seeing the fruits of an awful lot of work to build those foundations. So I acknowledge that, and 'twas ever thus with improvement effort. So well done to everybody involved. I mean, that's a massive, if I'm waiting for a job for 42 days less, that's thinking about the current state of our economy. That's 42 days I might be getting paid, not paid. That could be the difference between my heating being on and not being on, food on the table for Christmas for some folk, or less food or no food. So just, let's put that in the context. It means a lot to us as an organisation, but it means a lot to the individuals bringing in. And if you if you are doing that for 30 people a month, that's a lot of people better off every year as we are. So I do like to just call out, numbers might seem small, but the impact can be huge. So well done to everyone involved. Really great piece of work, and I know it'll be sustained because it's got a good foundation.
Great, well said, Jimmy. Thank you very much. Dawn?
Hi everyone. I'm Dawn Horansky. I'm the Senior HR Business Partner for Estates and Facilities and some other CSUs. I'm really sorry I had to drop off the call at the most inappropriate time, but come back on to hear some positive comments. But I just really didn't want to go without saying what an amazing, remarkable piece of work this is that's been done, and the number of people that have been involved and pulled together to make what feels like baby steps sometimes, but is making such a significant difference on which we can build. We've known for a long time that recruitment into estates and facilities in particular has been a challenge, but this team have really worked well together, bringing the method to life and really giving our senior leadership team in estates and facilities some real assurance that we can achieve what feels like sometimes the impossible. So I just wanted to say thank you, but also Mel Legg, who I don't think is on the call, but has been doing some work with the recruitment teams and such like, actually attended one of the assessment days and spoke to candidates as they were leaving, just to sort of gauge how it felt for them. Some really positive feedback, which is just great to hear from candidates. So it's a really fantastic and positive piece of work. Thank you, everyone.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dawn. Really good, really good. Well said. Jimmy?
Julie, I'm just wondering if there's any more questions, because I've got just an update about Report Out for those gathered. We're going to take a purposeful pause on Report Out over the next couple of months and return in spring with a new format and hopefully a lot more shorter but more volume of content for colleagues who can join. And also to call out the consequence of that decision, which I know you're cited on, is that it might be your last one. I know that you'll pay attention. We do return early March. It might be the last one. So I just wanted to publicly thank you for your unwavering commitment to this forum of improvement. You know, I know the only time you ever miss it is when, the Secretary of State's knocking on your door instead. Otherwise, you are here. And I speak to people increasingly outside of our organisation who say, what are the ingredients, and you know this, that make improvement methods like this stick? And it's commitment from the top all the way through. And so we know the reason that you've been hijacked by others is because you do that super well. So let's put that on the recording, on record. And I'll also throw an invite out to say, I wonder if we could put a best of compilation together for you to have as a final report out, and maybe we could do that as something nice for the spring.
Yeah, that would be great, Jimmy. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. And this is, I guess, bittersweet in that sense, very much so. But I think the strength of Report Out, the strength of the Leeds Improvement Method is we've built through the great teamwork and collaboration. It's the foundations of its success and continuity, and I very much look forward to coming back to the trust in my new role to actually champion this approach across many more organisations, many more trusts, because I do believe this is absolutely what we need right now, given the challenges we're facing. And just to return to what we've heard today, brilliant work, so important, and actually this is the sort of meat and drink, isn't it, for what we need to do to succeed in the NHS, to get our colleagues in, to develop them, to work in the Leeds way. And the way in which you are doing that is great. So well done, team. Great report out. Thank you very much. And look forward to keeping in touch and seeing that best of, Jimmy. That would be fantastic. All right. Take care, everyone. End of Report Out. Cheers.